What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time for a video that's going to be a bit different than what I normally do here on this channel because this is a video response. It's a response to another video that was made right here on YouTube.com. It's a fellow music creator on YouTube that I am responding to today, and I understand that many of you are like, this is not the content that I signed up for. I understand that, but this is a video that I do feel strongly about. I have a strong take and opinion on the situation in general, so I am going to be firing back with my thoughts, showing some of the original video, that sort of thing. So just keep in mind, if the video and that sort of thing is not for you, you don't have to watch it. You can click off right now. If not, let's go ahead and just jump the shark and get into it. Paige Backstage, the self-proclaimed allergic to everything music lifestyle creator, social media coach, and YouTuber, seems to be allergic to pretty much everything except for her own bullshit. You know what? Maybe that was a bit mean. I can't imagine being allergic to everything. That truly must suck. She put out this video that I am sure many of you saw because it blew the hell up for her. I'm talking thousands of subscribers gained, over 130,000 views on it as of recording this video. Bands I'm Leaving Behind in 2017 was a long overdue video for Paige. It's something that I expected from her, probably on a case-by-case basis as these allegations unfolded in the world of music, but I digress. Paige and I were actually friends for about a 6-month window in time back in 2016, but I didn't think too highly of her as time went on, and I'm sure she'd say the exact same thing about me. She leans more towards this social justice no matter what angle, and I lean more towards rationality. It is what it is. During that time that we were friends, I helped Paige grow her channel, giving her exposure not only through my social media, but also on my YouTube channel, where I had her on and actually helped her get to her first 1,000 subscribers here on the site. We would occasionally DM each other. In fact, we would talk for a while, going back, bouncing video ideas off of each other, and at one point she actually asked me for advice on things like starting up a Patreon, and asking how I set goals on there and that sort of thing. Sidestep, but ironic that she would ask me about potentially starting up a Patreon, considering her father is the Paige Williams, an extremely wealthy self-made businessman that owns more than a dozen exotic cars and has more money than I will ever see in 10 lifetimes. Honestly though, I'm rambling, just like she did for 6 minutes at the start of her own video, which does have some valid points. I want to get that across, that I don't disagree with everything that she says in the video. Obviously, we need to listen to victims, we need to respect victims, we need to listen to them, understand them, and not have them fearing to come out with their stories. But at the same time, the video has some valid points, but it is rooted in bullshit, and bullshit uproots the second water is tossed at it. Well, honey, here comes the bucket.
Over the last few months, there have been sexual misconduct allegations coming out pretty much like every other day against members of the music industry, as well as every other industry. But I feel like the music industry has been good about calling people out before now, but at the same time, they're really good about choosing which bands they want to throw away and which bands they're gonna give a pass to and like sweep it back under the rug.
I don't think it's so much picking and choosing as it is people are now more prone to outrage after any sort of allegation arises, as they should be. It's a rightful reaction. But I'm sure, as I'll repeat many times in this very video, there is a big difference between allegations and the truth, and sometimes it's a really big difference that has to be looked into and scrutinized to be found. We can't just assume that we have all the answers within a few hours or even immediately.
Personally, if any band has abused their platform to hurt or harass or abuse anybody, I have no time for them. I'm not going to be supporting them. I won't be talking about them on my channel, my blog, in my life, anywhere.
It's absolutely 100% Paige's right to not listen to or support in any way any of the bands that are accused. But as this video goes on, we're gonna see why her statements seem more and more ridiculous, at least to me. She's not willing to listen to anything other than, well, the internet said it, so it must be 100% true, because the internet has never, ever exaggerated, doctored, stretched out anything, or maybe lied about anything to defame someone. No, never, not on the internet.
No matter how much we like the bands, we can always find other bands to support that deserve our support more and who aren't going to take advantage of us as people.
This was one of my biggest pet peeves with the video because it's something that she consistently preaches to her audience on YouTube and Twitter. She seems to have some sort of psychic ability unlike anything we've ever seen before, because it sounds like she's saying, to me at least, that she knows which bands are actually good people. Huh. How could she know that? Now, how do we go about determining this? What makes a band good in Paige's eyes? Well, it seems to me that she's a big advocate for bands like Swimmers in the Main, so they must be great people and we should support them, right? Wrong. No, not wrong as in I think that they're bad people in the slightest. That's not what I'm getting at whatsoever. In fact, I love both of those groups. Wrong in the sense that none of us, including you, Paige, know them whatsoever. You, in fact, supported all of these bands that you're now leaving behind up until this very year. And many of these incidents that actually came up, like Brand New, for example, and Pierce the Veil, these incidents took place years ago, some over a decade in the past. You, of course, supported them not knowing that they had done anything wrong, and up until 2017, you would have and did actually recommend that people at the very least listen to these groups. So what then? I guess we just support them until something comes up and then immediately disown them the second that some even remotely negative allegation comes their way. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people would say, duh, John, that's exactly how this should go down in response to that. But I say that there's a line between the art and the artist, at least to an extent. While Paige does say that this is all how she personally feels, she makes it pretty clear that she would like for others to think the same way and that she will not be listening to any sort of reason or rationality when it comes to any of these situations. In fact, now that I think about it, I'd really hate to be her boyfriend, because the second that some girl walked up and said, hey, your boyfriend cheated on you with me, she would, I guess, have to believe it and just break up with him on the spot. She goes on to consistently refer to allegations, which by definition means that it's accusations thrown at someone that have not yet been investigated or confirmed, yet she treats them like cold, hard facts for the entirety of the video. Victims should 100% always come forward, and come forward knowing that they have support in the community around them, but they should also come forward knowing that their story will be investigated. It's a part of the due process of law. It's the very basis that our criminal justice system is based on in the United States. Innocent until proven guilty, or at least until we have more facts. And if you caught somebody doing something in the act, absolutely. If we know something and we have more facts, like the Kevin Spacey situation, for example, absolutely total asshole. We know that right on the spot. But with many of these situations, we don't know. Like with the Melanie Martinez situation, for example, somehow we are made to look like the bad people because we have the nerve to question their story or to look in to see if things actually add up with the timeline that they're speaking of in their story that they've told us. I'm not going through and playing tons of clips from Paige's video because it's aimless. It's all over the place. She was very scattered in that video, and it is 18 minutes long. It's an 18-minute video that should have at maximum been about 5 to 7. Paige takes looking good on the internet very seriously. She cares very much about treating it like a business with what she does on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, and as a result, she comes across very cold-like in a way, even though she plays it up like, hey, I'm just your pal over here at YouTube, meanwhile thinking, how can I get to the next stepping stone on the way to get to my goal? And there's nothing wrong at all with having goals, it's just the way that she treats it. With me personally knowing her in the past, and from what I can see that she does and the way that she handles herself on Instagram, Twitter, and obviously her YouTube channel, it seems like she's very much focused on treating it like a business. And like businesses do, she likes to cut ties with more less than reputable assets. Think about it like YouTube cutting off PewDiePie. If it doesn't look good for Paige, then she's not going to be involved with it. No matter how much she might have loved the band in the past, it doesn't matter. They're done, they're over, they're canceled. The problem of the idea of this movement in general is the problem of ignoring facts or potential mistruths. It also lays down this unwritten law of no second chances for anyone in a band, no matter how long it might have been since the incident occurred, how much the person might have changed or else grown or shown remorse since the event, or how inconsequential the event originally was in the first place. It sways younger minds into thinking, I'm a bad person if I ever listen to this band, and it doesn't allow them to think for themselves. I'm of the very strong belief that you can, in fact, separate the art from the artist, and I treat each instance of abuse of power on a case-by-case basis. For example, as far as Brand New goes, I won't be seeing them live again if they ever do concerts again, and I won't be buying any more of their t-shirts, and I do not support what Jesse may have done. In fact, I know he did bad things, we don't know the details. That's the simple fact. I will not, however, stop ever listening to this band. They're one of my favorites of all time. I own all of their albums on CD and vinyl. They're sitting right behind me, and I have plenty of their merch, from stickers to wall art to flags to t-shirts, and many people would just cry out, burn them all. And to that I say, Are you fucking dumb? More than likely, you're still attached to the music of that band that you love that maybe did something less than reputable, and I don't know what every single allegation for every band out there is, but let's say that one of your favorite bands was accused of doing something. I do not feel like you should be guilted into thinking that you're a horrible person because maybe you still spin your copy of Deja or The Devil and God, whatever the band might be. They're one of my favorite bands and have been for over a decade now, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, you know what, guys, I'm never gonna listen to their music again. I don't care, it doesn't matter. Because I personally sit down and listen to their music and I'm able to hear something else. I don't hear Jesse Lacey's story, I just hear music, I hear poetry, I hear words that sound really good to me and have obviously left a lasting impression on me. I'm not going to sit here and say, I suddenly hate the music and it was never any good in the first place, like I've seen so many hypocrites do. Paige brought up allegations that have been proven false, like the whole Lloyd from Neck Deep situation, and ones that are under very intense questioning, like Moose Blood and Melanie Martinez. If you want to never support, recommend, or listen to an artist again ever, no matter what, because of one allegation that may or may not be true, then go ahead, that's your prerogative. Just realize that others won't leave you unchecked on this, unchecked in the sense that you have to see the other side of the table. Let's all realize that we don't have the right to judge the way that other people see and perceive and actually handle things and situations. Some people will actually be able to forgive the person that offended, some people will just simply be able to listen and separate art from artist, and some people will have to leave the allegations at the door and say, you know what, I'm done with this band, I can't support them anymore. And guess what? Nobody is wrong there. Paige heavily suggests that everyone leave behind these bands and do the same thing if any allegations or if anyone comes under fire. Pretty much without question, no matter what. I suggest not going necessarily with the mob with the pitchfork mentality, but instead take the time to research situations, look into them, and decide whether it's appropriate for you to actually separate the art from the artist in this instance. Paige still loves her father, right? Yes, of course she does, as she should. He seems like a really nice, wealthy guy that does a lot of great things with the money that he receives, whether it be charity or giving back or having things built overseas, but oh no, red flag alert, oh no. There's a picture of him with Donald Trump. Oh no, oh, not good for the brand. Oh, he goes to the Mar-a-Lago golf course sometimes and actually knows Trump on a personal basis. Oh no, red flag, not good for the brand. Gotta get rid of him, right? Wrong. Paige talks about how we're not just able to pick and choose which bands get a pass whenever it comes to these allegations, but is it any different when it comes to family? Do you turn your back on family the second that they do something less than reputable that maybe you don't like or doesn't align with the way that you see yourself and conduct yourself on YouTube? I don't know if her father was a Trump supporter. Maybe he's just good friends with them. It's not my place to assume. Maybe it's just a business thing, but hey, look how easy that was. I didn't assume someone's entire life story based on one article. Yay! Think of this. Someone in your family was found to have sexually harassed someone years ago, but everybody is just now finding out about it. What's the appropriate reaction here? Shock, disappointment, anger, hurt. All appropriate and justified reactions, of course. But what's next? You look to them for guidance as to what happened, what's going to change, and what's the next step to move forward and to move past this and to never do this again. Say they own up to making the mistake. They have already apologized profusely to the victim, but they can't do anything to change the past. And they seem to have learned from their mistakes and are going forward in making changes. But you know what? In today's mentality, it's not good enough. We just gotta kick them to the curb. Or you could give someone a chance to maybe prove that they've changed. Don't maybe put them in a position of power or a situation where they could potentially abuse like they did in the first place, but punish. Don't say that they are never going to be in your life whatsoever ever again. Don't just cut something off, because how are they supposed to get better if everybody has turned their back on them? What are they gonna do? They're gonna turn back to their vices. And if they have a positive community around them, what are they gonna do? Maybe they can actually get raised up and maybe they will actually change. And sometimes it's okay to forgive and not forget, but to learn from the mistake. Help them learn, show them why it was wrong, and accept that people can, do, and will continue to change as people, especially with the positive community around them. The point is out there somewhere, and it's not up to myself, Paige, or really anyone else to make it. Every case is different, every person is different, and I really don't think leaving bands behind at the end of the year is going to accomplish anything. If there's any good that has possibly come from these situations, it's that I do feel like these allegations have made it easier for people to actually come forward, for the victims to speak up, and maybe there's even a support system that wasn't there before. Believe victims that speak up, but also believe facts. Don't be the person that is so stubborn and set on the potential victim being completely right, never lying, no matter what, that you get blinded to any truths or any potential little things that might be uncovered and discovered. And also, the same goes for those that love a band. Do not, please do not be naive and think that they would never take advantage of someone, because as we've unfortunately seen, it does happen. We don't know them personally as much as we might feel like we do, and sometimes they do bad things with their power. Don't get caught up in leaving everything behind, often just because one band member messed up. Should it really ruin everything for everyone in the band and all of their fans? Chop off the offending hand if abuse or misconduct occurred and then move on. Or continue your little boycott if that's what makes you content. Get back to me once you've learned that literally everyone has done something at least a little bit problematic at some point in their life. But what scale are we weighing things on? Why wasn't Fall Out Boy on the list, Paige? Pete has allegations. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. I'm sure that many people will strongly agree, many people will strongly disagree. There will be many loud voices in the comments section, but please know this. I am in no way downplaying the significance of things like sexual assault. Do not take this video as me scoffing at it as nothing, although I'm sure, unfortunately, that many people will do just that. Anyways, I do hope that you watched the full video. I know it was probably a little bit longer, but I did actually write and script this one out because I wanted to make sure my response was perfect in the way that I wanted it to be, and I hope that you were able to make your own decisions going forward. Choose who you support. It's all up to you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's that icon floating in the corner right over there, or else tap that subscribe button below me if you would like to find me on social media. All of these links are in the description down below. You can see a recent episode of my Series 7 on Sunday right here, or another recent video that I did reacting to something right over here. Other than that, I'll see you very soon for more regularly scheduled videos on Beyond ARTV.